Dear distinguished guests, dear colleagues and friends, a good day to you all. It is a great pleasure for me to be the moderator of the Future of Intangible Cultural Heritage envisioned by MZ Generation within the scope of the 2021 World Forum for Intangible Cultural Heritage. I am obviously not a member of the MZ Generation, but as intergenerational connection is such an important aspect of safeguarding intangible cultural heritage, I hope that I can do justice in moderating this session today. Our session presents the outcomes of the 2021 Intangible Cultural Heritage Youth Summit that took place yesterday, hosted by Bich on the virtual world of Metaverse. 44 participants from 15 countries joined the summit, most of whom came from Asia Pacific, but also Europe. This really is a testament for youth eagerness in networking and learning from one another, not only across the countries, but also across the regions, and the power of technology in bringing people together. During the summit, we listened to the inspirational stories of 9 young professionals. They come from a diverse range of backgrounds. Some are students, while others are working professionals. Some come from big cities, while others are members of indigenous groups. Most of them work in cultural fields, but there's also a civil engineer. It really shows how safeguarding heritage could and should be considered as responsibility of everyone, as indeed intangible cultural heritage is everywhere around us. Pooja Amartya's work in Kathmandu, Nepal, clearly showed us a strong interconnection between tangible and intangible cultural heritage. Zhang Xiao's research on ancient textiles taught us that while ICH is very much living, it is also worthwhile to look back to history to learn more about how it was practiced in the past. Han Lu's comparative study on porcelain making in China and Korea demonstrated how ICH in many countries are shared. Dong Hyun's scheme told us about a complex project of documenting and presenting 25 ICH elements in Jeonju-si, Korea, while highlighting an important role of formal and informal education in engaging youth. Implementing educational activities related to ICH is also a focus of Akanksha Tatet in Mumbai and Ahmedabad, India. Ponepaset Kyosomsak showcased how safeguarding puppetry practices in Luang Prabang, Lao PDR, can generate better livelihood for local communities while increasing appreciation for it among younger generations. Moshumi Chaudhuri of India managed to challenge the gender norms to bring her arts of chow dancing to a wide range of audience. Chandra Tripura, an indigenous cultural activist of Bangladesh, highlighted the roles of indigenous youth as well as challenges they are currently facing in safeguarding their ICH. In whatever forms and wherever they were implemented, the youth participants to the 2021 ICH Youth Summit have demonstrated how safeguarding ICH can contribute to the well-being and sustainability of local communities. They all share a passion for safeguarding their cultural heritage and call for a more active role for youth to play in these endeavors. Youth are the bridge between the past and the future, and if the bridge is broken, we will forever lose our heritage. The Youth Summit participants also agreed on the need to establish a youth network for safeguarding intangible cultural heritage. The experiences shared by Si-Won Lee on Korea ICH Youth Network founded at the 2020 World Forum for ICH gave us good lessons learned. By adopting the declaration Intangible Cultural Heritage Safeguarding and Collaboration, youth participants reaffirmed their commitment to the youth network in Asia Pacific, which aims to serve as a platform to amplify multiple voices and multiple knowledge of the regional youth, where the members, regardless of backgrounds and professions, will share good practices, develop joint projects in collaboration with one another, with the communities, and with also other external partners. In the session today, we will be hearing from and talking with 4 representatives of the Youth Summit. I would like to invite the first speaker, Mr. Bonepaset Kyalsomsak of Laupedia, who will talk to us about intangible cultural heritage interpretation through puppet. Over to you, Bonepaset.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to share some information with all of you today. My name is Bonepaset Kyalsomsak. I am from Luang Prabang, Laos, India. I would like to share part of my research, experience, and practice on intangible cultural heritage. Does have been done under North Group, a local group of Luang Prabang. The issue is, according to the COVID-19 pandemic, a local cultural representative, ICA including artists, craftsmen, are in difficulty. There are some losing their job or switching to be low skill. Unfortunately, some of them pass away with their collective skill and wisdom. In the meantime, digital disruption become both an opportunity and threat. It offers a platform for local cultural representative of ICH to demonstrate their local identities and practice. Why artificial intelligence replacing the representative in cultural interpretation? Therefore, North Group try to fix the issue that I mentioned above. Local puppet or epoch is employed to foster and protect the local intangible cultural heritage. Therefore, I try to interpret cultural meaning and value as well as I see it through puppet. Puppet represent all category of puppet represent all category of ICH. Puppet is a tool for cultural interpretation all ICH domains such as oral tradition, expansion, performing art, social practice, ritual, acknowledgement, traditional handcraft. So this is, I would like to show you the framework of the project. Sorry for my technical problem. Yes. Yes, this what I do in puppet. Puppet is like a center representative of cultural heritage. On the left side, we have the ritual, we have the poem, we have the craftsmen, we have, this is our presentation, and yes, and this is our group. Our group is founded in 2009. Our mission is promote and supporting traditional practice and conservation process both tangible and intangible cultural heritage. Our group, we focus 4 kinds of activity: traditional performing art, flower arrangement, textile, and gold leaf. So after here, and I have short video for what are we doing in our community. The technical will be open for me, please. Thank you so much for me present our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Punepaset. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Chandra Tripura of Bangladesh to talk to us about Indigenous youth perspectives on ICH safeguarding and transmission, challenges and ways forward. Over to you, Chandra.
Thank you. Kulum Kal, warm greetings from all the indigenous youths from Asia. I'm really very happy to be a part of this World Forum for Intangible Cultural Heritage. All of you know that there are approximately 476 million indigenous peoples around the world, according to the international level organization, who spread across more than 90 countries and also speak more than 4,000 languages. And although indigenous peoples comprise 5% of the world's population, indigenous peoples also safeguard 80% of the planet's biodiversity. And although we have been able to adopt in the Intangible Cultural Heritage Convention in 2003, there is still a sense of inclusiveness, recognition of human rights and indigenous people's rights, and being the power of indigenous communities and future generation of our indigenous communities. Indigenous youths' perspectives should be taken into consideration throughout the whole process. I will be talking about how indigenous youths are practicing their intangible cultural heritage, as well as how they are thinking that indigenous people's living heritage and their culture should be included in throughout the process of intangible cultural heritage. When we think about the convention and about the policies both in the national and international level for safeguarding intangible cultural heritage and its transmission, we think a few things that there must recognition of indigenous people's rights need to be recognized, representation and meaningful participation of indigenous peoples, including indigenous youths, need to be ensured, and inclusiveness that will ensure the cultural diversity of the diverse community throughout the world. And also there is a need for a strategic and long-term vision in terms of safeguarding and transmission of our intangible cultural heritage around the world. And without mutual trust, respect, and well understanding and 4CH, which are cooperation, collaboration, coordination, and collective action, we cannot be able to achieve a creative, innovative, and using the technology to ensure sustainable, intangible cultural heritage safeguarding and transmission. Well, there are many challenges we face, particularly indigenous communities and the indigenous youths while practicing and promoting their cultures, their living heritage and intangible cultural heritage, because there is lack of recognition of indigenous people's rights, both in the national level, in their own state, in their respective countries, and also in the international processes of safeguarding and transmission of intangible cultural heritage. There is lack of inclusion of indigenous people's representatives in both country and the international level of in the processes of ICH safeguarding. And there is also absence of inclusive policy for ICH safeguarding and transmission. Exclusion of indigenous youth in ICH safeguarding processes is another challenge for us to be a part of the safeguarding of ICH. And there are some external forces as well, which we know that in this globalization era, tourism is another factor we cannot avoid. But if it happened through the community of tourism, we will be able to overcome and embrace all the challenges. But all these challenges, particularly the external forces, compelled indigenous communities, particularly youth, to fear for losing their culture and intangible heritages. Well, all the indigenous youths think that there are still, a possibility, and with collective action we can achieve, we can go forward for inclusiveness and to protect and promote all the cultural heritages we have. For that, we envision that an inclusive youth network will be able to promote and protect all our intangible cultural heritages. And within that network, an inclusive youth policy for effective and meaningful participation is highly required, where a strategic and long-term vision through youth lens is very much required. Research, documentation, and the innovative action is another thing that we need to think about throughout the process. And a global campaign is really very much important to proceed with all the plans. And also, we highly require support, both financial and technical support in the community level for our youth-led actions, and capacity building for youths in ICH fields, because we lack experts among the youths in the field of ICH. And all these things will be able to will be able to ensure only with recognition, protection, and promotion of indigenous people's rights. And for that, we need to ensure and we need to initiate all the possibilities by youth, for youth, and with youth. Thank you for listening to me. I believe that this World Forum will lead us to a hopeful process that will be able to ensure the inclusiveness and the recognition of indigenous people's rights, including all the indigenous youths and other minority youths, other vulnerable groups, particularly the youths and their rights. Thank you. Hambai.
Thank you very much, Chandra, for sharing with us the views of the indigenous youth in Asia-Pacific region. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Pooja Amatia of Nepal to talk to us about a civil engineer's perspective on cultural heritage. Over to you, Pooja.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ron. Is my slide visible? Okay.
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be on this platform and present in front of so many people and so many experts on cultural heritage and intangible cultural heritage, especially. I'm Pooja Amartya. I'm a civil engineer by profession, and I've been doing a research on one of the projects in Nepal at Kathmandu University Department of Music. This is a project named Rebuilding Tripureshwar Mahadev Temple, Sattles and Garden Area. It is one of the important cultural heritage site in Kathmandu Valley, which is the capital of the country. And most probably this is a picture of 2015 Gorkha earthquake, where the top roof of the temple is like fallen down. And this is a picture of the temple around 150 years ago, taken from a Bagmati river, which flows from north of the country to the south of the country. Actually, the main vision of the project is to rebuild and restore. Tripura Sundari is the name of this temple. It is the short name of this temple. To cultivate the concept of the amalgamation of cultural, tangible heritage with the intangible musical heritage. And you might be surprised why I'm talking about being a civil engineer and a music department is getting into such kind of great projects. Is like, it is not just the construction project or the tangible heritage, but we want to amalgamate the musical heritage of Nepal, throughout Nepal, into this small project. And since I have been working as a civil engineer here and a researcher as well, my research is based on this project. I'm more into construction phase right now. Even you can see I'm here at the site working. And after the construction is complete, we want to get the musical heritage from entire country of Nepal, from like 75 districts of Nepal, into this single platform, so that the intangible thing comes into one platform and gets into education, so that lots of youngsters can know about what the music is about, and what the local music, which is like knowledge, and that is to be learned by each and every one of us in Nepal. This is a picture right after 2015 earthquake, on the day of earthquake. The top roof, it's a pagoda style temple, and the top roof has gone down. You can see lots of debris being cleared in the ground level. And this is what we've done after 2015. Like, it's come to its exact what it really was. Like, this is a picture of a pinnacle which dropped down, and it took us like 9 months to just preserve this pinnacle, which is around 19 feet tall. It's gold gilded pinnacle with lots of traditional workers working on it, and a section of this pinnacle has been drawn here. This is what my research is all about. The knowledge that traditional workers and traditional practices that we have in our country is not being documented, and which we want to do in so that it is known by not just our traditional workers, but our young generations also. Like, these are some of our workers whose knowledge needs to be preserved and documented, and not just documented, it should be transmitted to the younger society, or the knowledge, because we're just focused towards concrete and steel structures, which is like modern technology, but we've lost what traditional techniques are. Like, we use lots of traditional ways, tools to carve this single piece of art, we don't use machineries, but how do we get that knowledge from our older generations to our new generations is by just documenting them, by doing a research. And that's what intangible knowledge is to be preserved and transferred to our society. Like this roof structure, people have lost, people have do not have a knowledge of how to do it, because they're just old people who were attracted towards these kind of works, and young generations are more towards the modern technologies. And what we want to do is preserve this kind of knowledge and transmit to the young generations. This is a picture of our team, where you can see the one with the blue hat, that is Dr. Lochan Rizal, the only ethnomusicologist in Nepal, and who, whatever I talked about right now is all his vision of transmission of knowledge from our society to education through Kathmandu University, through education, which is, I think, would be the best ways. And this is kind of music that just one part of music that we have in Nepal, in Tarai region, which is the south of Nepal. And this is just an example, just a short example of what we want to get into our education. Yes, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Pooja. Last but not least, I would like to invite Mr. Si-Won Lee of the Republic of Korea to talk to us about the importance of youth networking and how to develop the ICH youth forums in the future. Over to you, Si-Won.
Thank you, Han. As she introduced, I'm Si-Won Lee from South Korea. The purpose of my presentation today is the importance of youth networking and how to develop the ICH youth forums in the future. To begin with, full of youth organizations carry out various activities for safeguarding ICH in their ways by transmission, research, campaign, policymaking, and the like around the world. Moreover, the young generation is one of the most important stakeholders in sustainable development and also exuberant policy participants in many organizations, including UNESCO. Today, with the development of information and communication technology, it is possible to communicate in seconds on the other side of the earth. However, there is still lack of international exchanges due to the exclusive nature of the ICH field and the indifference or technical limitations of the local communities. Furthermore, many international stages are overflowing with programs and projects aimed at young people, but they do not contain only narrow. They do contain only narrow range of use because of the trouble like information imbalances and income gaps. Of course, its community may have strong internal ties, but nonetheless, the world is gradually moving toward a hyper-connected, hyper-convergence, and hyper-diversity society. Therefore, we established the network to share and overcome the challenges faced by young generation in this field and propose and practice more effective safeguarding measures by communication and cooperation. Our goals are to promoting sharing information, raising awareness and capacity building of young people, and to encouraging social participation of them actively from a passive perspective so that they can take lead in safeguarding ICH. We've done diverse activities and also plan to organize some else. We share all of these on our SNS. The ICH youth forums would be meaningful and fruitful in itself. However, I want to suggest several things to embrace the voices of more various people and move toward a sustainable event. First of all, we have to lower the linguistic barriers. What I felt from some case studies is that many young individuals or organizations carry out exemplary activities, but there are no proper information exchanges because of the invisible barriers among us. Therefore, it would be great if each country or institutions like UNESCO and HCAP support interpreters covering diverse languages, including consideration of the disabled, such as sign language. Secondly, there is a need to continue the conversation from forums to such programs or projects. I mean, if some speakers propose any outstanding measures for safeguarding ICH, they must be practiced in reality, and therefore we could get a chance to apply them to other environments. For instance, we can plan a summer camp or workshop to develop the ideas and learn or train the excellences of the cases. In addition, through those kinds of programs, we can also explore side effects and improvement ways. Lastly, to emphasize, it's critical to share the achievements with others. It could stimulate additional interest and creativity by allowing all kinds of accesses regardless of age, gender, race, class, or income level. For example, we can use SNS, ICH links, and websites of related agencies. If it works out well, it would lead to the influx of newcomers accordingly, and people can find the solutions about many typical challenges much easily. In my opinion, how you share your achievement with others is as crucial as how outstanding you perform. We need to concern and cooperate fiercely about that point. I want to express my deep gratitude to other participants from all over the world and HCAP, making this priceless opportunity. I do believe we can continue this relationship to networking more actively after this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Siwon. Thank you for your sharing and your suggestion. So we only have a few minutes left for the session, and I would like to invite all the speakers today to reflect on the question that I'm going to give the next moment and share with us your views on this. So the question is, how do you envision a youth-led forum? What kinds of activities do you suggest that the forum develops with a view to safeguard ICH and to build cooperation between youth around the region and around the globe? Please be precise. Do you want to start, Suwon? And then we can walk backward.
Okay. I already said a lot, so I'll just add some briefly. From my point of view, the core of ICH is to encompass diversity. So we need to listen to the people embracing various ages, genders, reasons, and occupations. Furthermore, there are agendas the young people are more familiar with, such as how to use digital technology, what kind of education or roles is interests, and the like. As the older generation knows a lot of what the younger generation doesn't know. Therefore, the youth forums should be accessible to various people and should raise their awareness and strengthen the capacity of young people. Then the young generation will be able to continue noble and fruitful discussions afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, inclusivity will be a very key, important factor for our forum. Thank you for your advice. Pooja, would you like to share your view?
Yes, sure. What I think about is this kind of forum would be a great platform for people and young generations like us to express what we've been doing at our own levels, like we're doing it in local level. And when the idea gets into bigger forums like this, and lots of people get to hear about it, and which might increase the knowledge to other people as well. And moreover, what I think about is if we do lots of research, and if we are able to bring young generations into different kinds of research programs related to intangible cultural heritage. And just not just the intangible, the cultural and the tangible heritage as well. Then there'd be more education to people, and I think education would be the best platform for to transmit the knowledge that the older generations have into the younger generations, and that might be the best way to preserve our cultural heritage, and just do more research on it, and get more people do lots of new experiments on what can be done and what can be good for the future society. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pooja. Here talk about research and education are certainly very important safeguarding and transmission measure, and let's take into account innovation that youth have abundance as well. Thank you. Over to you, Chandra. Would you like to share? You already elaborated quite a lot in the last part of your presentation, but if you have some additional points, please share with us.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Hanh, for the question. Well, this kind of World Forum for ICH, particularly the Youth Forum, is really necessary for us, to bring the voice from the grassroots level and to exchange the strategies to safeguard and transmission, for this ICH, and also to seek attention of the international processes, right? And this kind of processes is really important to re-educate ourselves, and the main vision should be to re-educate ourselves, and for an inclusive platform where we can actually revive ICH culture and protect, promote our cultures through using innovative, creative ideas, and also through because last week I think some speakers already mentioned about how the young generation are misusing the technology, but we can still properly utilize our technology to protect our cultures and the intangible cultural heritage. Yes, of course, this platform is important to particularly to re-educate ourselves and to protect, promote, document, and represent to the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandra. The last words I would like to give to Punepaset to share with us his views.
Yes, the first thing coming up on my head, I'm thinking about the support the local cultural representative more opens their space, and also this platform should have a kind of inventory list about the Intangible Cultural Heritage platform. Everybody can be accessed, and the one things I thinking about the Bich program, we can directly experience through various country, young generation who work with the culture in intangible cultural heritage, and also. Yes, we can learn from that Bich program by couple country or focus Asian or focus somewhere. We can start that first. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all speakers for your great presentations today and the great insights that you just shared. We look forward to hearing your updates about the activities of the Youth Network. And we also hope that you will continue with conviction in bringing youth collective voices to exchange, to raise awareness, to strengthen capacity, and to advocate for policy changes, to build an enabling environment in which ICH is respected, safeguarded, and transmitted as guided by the 2003 Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage. Thank you to the audience, and hope you will enjoy the rest of the 2021 World Forum.